Hello, and welcome to MEMO. Have you ever closed eyes and tried to imagine our world millions of years ago? It's a fun thought experiment. You might picture giant dinosaurs roaming vast green landscapes. Maybe you think of woolly mammoths trudging through snow. Those are amazing pictures for sure. But the real prehistoric world was so much weirder, so much more wonderful, and so much stranger than you can possibly imagine. It was a place where evolution was trying out all sorts of new ideas. Today, we are going on a journey back in time. We are going to pull back the curtain on a lost world. We're talking about millipedes as long as a car. We're talking about birds that were apex predators. We're even going to meet a shark with a jaw that looks like a circular saw. Let's begin our journey in the Carboniferous period, around 300 million years ago. Forget everything you know about creepy crawlies. This was the age of giant bugs, and the king of them all was a creature called Arthropleura. Imagine a millipede. Now imagine that millipede is as long as a small car, about 2.5 meters or over 8 feet long. That's Arthropleura. It was the largest land-dwelling invertebrate of all time. You might be thinking, a giant millipede sounds terrifying. Well, here's a surprising fact for you. Despite its intimidating size, scientists believe Arthropleura was probably a gentle giant. It likely spent its days munching on rotting plant matter and spores on the forest floor, more like a giant armored composting machine. So, why did bugs get so big back then? The secret is in the air. During the Carboniferous period, the oxygen levels in our atmosphere were much higher than they are today. For insects and other arthropods, this high oxygen air was like a superpower. Now, let's fast forward in time to the Cenozoic era, after the dinosaurs went extinct. With the giant predatory dinosaurs gone, a new kind of hunter rose to take their place. They weren't mammals, they were birds. Meet the Phorusrhacids, better known by their awesome nickname, terror birds. For nearly 60 million years, these enormous, flightless birds were the top predators in South America. The largest species, like Kelenken, stood up to 3 meters or 10 feet tall. They were fast, powerful, and built for the hunt. But their most terrifying feature was their head. They had a massive skull up to 71 centimeters long, which is bigger than a horse's head. At the end of this skull was a huge, hooked beak, sharp as an axe. They would chase down their prey and strike it with a powerful downward blow from their beak, much like using a pickaxe. So why did birds become the new top predators? The extinction of the dinosaurs left a huge power vacuum. In South America, which was an isolated island continent for millions of years, birds evolved to fill that empty niche. Their reign eventually came to an end when the Isthmus of Panama formed, allowing large predatory mammals from the north to migrate south. Let's dive deep into the ancient oceans of the Permian period, about 290 million years ago. The seas were full of strange and wonderful life, but few creatures were as strange as Helicoprion. For a long time, all we had of Helicoprion were these very bizarre fossils that looked like spiral saw blades made of teeth. Scientists were completely baffled. It took over a century of research and the discovery of new fossils, including parts of the skull, to solve the puzzle. Using advanced CT scans, scientists finally figured it out. The bizarre spiral of teeth was located inside the animal's lower jaw. As new teeth grew, the older teeth were pushed forward, curling down and back into the center of the spiral inside the jaw. This is completely unique. No other animal, living or extinct, has a jaw that works this way. The whorl acted like a combination of a saw and a grinder, allowing Helicoprion to slice and crush its prey. This unique jaw allowed Helicoprion to thrive for millions of years, surviving the Great Permian-Triassic extinction event that wiped out most other life on Earth. The story of Helicoprion shows that paleontology is a living science, always evolving as we find more pieces of the puzzle. When you think of a whale, you probably picture a massive, graceful creature swimming in the ocean. You definitely don't picture a small, dog-sized animal with 4 legs and hooves walking on land. But that's exactly what Pakicetus was. Living around 50 million years ago in what is now Pakistan, Pakicetus is one of the earliest known ancestors of modern whales. At first glance, you would never guess that Pakicetus was related to whales. The clue is in its ears. Pakicetus had a very specific bone structure in its inner ear, unique to cetaceans, the group that includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Pakicetus lived a semi-aquatic lifestyle. likely hunting for fish in the shallows. This was the very first step on the long evolutionary road that would lead from a walking mammal to a fully aquatic whale. The story of Pakicetus is one of the most beautiful stories in evolution. It teaches us that major evolutionary changes don't happen overnight. They are the result of countless small steps, with each generation becoming slightly more adapted to a new way of life. Let's travel to a more recent time, the Pleistocene epoch, also known as the Ice Age. This was a land of giants, woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and one of the largest mammalian land predators of all time, the giant short-faced bear, Arctodus simus. Standing on its hind legs, Arctodus could reach up to 12 feet tall, high enough to look into a second-story window. Unlike the lumbering bears we know today, Arctodus was built for speed and endurance. Its feet pointed straight forward, not pigeon-toed like other bears, which would have made it a much more efficient runner. It could likely run at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour over long distances. It was less of an ambling bear and more of a cheetah bear. There is some debate among scientists about what this giant bear ate. Some believe it was a hyper-carnivore that hunted large animals. Others believe it was more of a scavenger, using its enormous, intimidating size to scare other predators away from their kills. The giant short-faced bear disappeared around 11,000 years ago, likely due to climate change and competition from early humans. Our journey now takes us to the Jurassic period in China, around 160 million years ago. We've met giant bugs and terror birds, but this next creature might be the strangest of them all. Meet Yiqi. The name means strange wing in Mandarin, and it is a perfect description. Yiqi was a small, pigeon-sized dinosaur with something extra that paleontologists had never seen before. The fossil showed a long, rod-like bone extending from its wrist, with remnants of a skin membrane stretching to its fingers. This means that Yiqi had wings that were made of both feathers and a skin membrane. It was a bizarre combination, part bird and part bat. This discovery completely changed our understanding of how flight could have evolved. Yiqi showed us that evolution had experimented with other ways to get into the air, likely gliding between trees like a modern flying squirrel. Evolution is not a straight line. It's a vast, branching tree, full of experimental designs. Yiqi was one of those experiments. Let's return to the Ice Age, but this time in South America. When you hear the word sloth, you probably think of the slow-moving, sleepy creature that hangs from trees. Now, imagine a sloth that was the size of an elephant. That was Megatherium. This giant ground sloth was one of the largest land mammals of all time, weighing up to 4 tons and measuring up to 20 feet long from head to tail. It was so big that when it stood on its hind legs to reach high branches, it would have been as tall as a giraffe. Its feet were enormous, and it had huge, frightening claws, some over a foot long. But these claws weren't for hunting. Megatherium was a herbivore, using its massive claws to pull down large tree branches or dig up roots and tubers. One of the most amazing things about Megatherium is how it lived alongside early humans. We have found human artifacts alongside the bones of these giant sloths. Some cave paintings in South America even appear to depict them. Like the other Ice Age giants, Megatherium went extinct around 10,000 years ago, serving as a poignant reminder of the megafauna we have lost. We have journeyed through millions of years of Earth's history. We've met car-sized millipedes, axe-beaked birds, and elephant-sized sloths. These creatures are more than just fun facts or bizarre monsters. They are teachers. Each fossil tells a story, and each story holds a valuable lesson for us today. The stories of these lost animals carry a warning. They show us how interconnected life is with the environment. The giant bugs disappeared when the oxygen fell. The terror birds vanished when new competitors arrived. These extinctions remind us that even the most successful creatures are vulnerable. Our planet is a delicate system, but the past also gives us hope. The fossil record shows that life has survived incredible challenges before. Life has always bounced back, often in new and surprising ways. This resilience is written into the DNA of our planet. By understanding the forces that shaped life millions of years ago, we can make better decisions to protect the incredible biodiversity we have today. So I want to end with a little piece of advice. Stay curious. Never stop asking questions about the world around you. Go to a museum, read a book, take a walk in nature and really look at the plants and animals you see. Every living thing has a story that stretches back millions of years. By exploring these stories, we connect with our planet's deep history and our own place in the grand, beautiful, and sometimes very weird story of life. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today here at MEMO. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and let us know in the comments which prehistoric creature is your favorite, or suggest a topic for our next adventure. Keep exploring.